What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, if you've been following the channel for a little bit now, you know I made a video recently talking about the highs of Egghead and the lows of Elbaf. Essentially, with that video, I pretty much said that while there were great things going on in the arc, like with Robin and Saul's reunion and the stuff with the mural that essentially shows the rest of the story of One Piece, while they had those elements within it, I pretty much said that Elbaf was an arc that was starting to deteriorate in quality, and it started to lose me for a very long time. So I made the decision at chapter 1145 that I was going to stop reading the manga week to week, and pretty much I stopped reading Elbaf as a whole. Like I didn't go back and read Elbaf for the longest time until recently. Now, in that video, I did say I reserve the right to come back to One Piece like when Elbaf does something that truly moves me and inspires me to come back to the series and make content on it again. Well, I went back and was doing some more reading of pretty much where I dropped off from Elbaf because they are absolutely popping off right now in Elbaf. Because what do you mean? When as soon as I stopped reading, we got connections of Emu and Brook having like some sort of like father-daughter-esque relationship in the past. What do you mean? Emu has possessed Gunko, and now Gunko is like the strongest villain in the verse, bro. What do you mean that Emu has essentially made Dory and Bragi and all these giants part of like a demon army? And now, like, the giants that I was disparaging for the longest time in that video are now like strong and like are actually good, like good characters again. When I was pretty much saying that they had no personality in all of Elbaf and they all kind of sucked and were like cardboard. Now they're like in an army with Emu. So, as you can tell, there has been a lot that has been happening in One Piece recently. So I went back and I went back and read it. And when you're reading this stuff in a binge, like these batch of chapters, this from where I dropped the series to now, it flows very well in a binge format. Sure, like the giant kids walking, I thought that sucked still. I didn't think that was good at all. I thought that was whack. But everything else, man, this material is actually very, very good. And I'm actually messing with it heavy. Because like I was a person that was not a fan of of the Knights. Wasn't a fan of them at all. The only one I thought had sauce was Shanks's clone. Other than that, didn't really care about them. Now we got like Scooter Gaban and all this stuff going down with him and his clone, or with him and his knight. We got stuff with Gunko, like I said, where she is essentially become like one of the most well developed characters now in this whole arc. Like we got to see a little bit of her backstory, where like we see her and Brook had some sort of father daughter relationship, and that gives more layers to Brook because for the longest time we thought Brook was just the guy who was the only survivor on his ship, and he had like a friendship with Laboon. But little did we know, he also had a friendship with Gunko for a very long time. It was kind of like a father daughter relationship. That's very cool. We're getting more stuff for Brook, and I like that because Brook is one of my favorite Straw Hats. He just never really gets anything in the story, but Oda is giving him something in the story, and I'm a big fan of that. Sure, while do I wish that Usopp was getting more in this arc? Yes, but I accepted that a very long time ago that Usopp's arc was essentially Water 7 in Enies lobby and a little and like Dressrosa when he unlocked his observation hockey. Those were his arcs, right? And so I'm okay with the fact that while he's not getting what I wanted for him in Elbaf, I understand why he's not. Because Water 7 and Enies lobby were his very big arcs that were pretty much about him and Robin specifically. And then Dressrosa, where he played a big role, and that's where God Usopp became a thing. So while I'm upset he didn't really get like much in Elbaf, it's still early. Like people have been telling me, it's still early, but I'm okay with the fact that he's not gonna get much form in terms of development if we're getting shit like this, because this stuff is all peak. The stuff that we're getting, because Emu possessing Gunko is the craziest thing that I think One Piece has done in a very long time. Since like we saw Kuma's flashback, I think this is the biggest thing that has happened in the series yet, in my opinion, because nobody was expecting this. I certainly wasn't, because I haven't been following the One Piece manga for a little bit. So when I saw that Emu possessed Gunko, I was like, okay, I'm gonna probably get back into it. But then I saw, that Emu Gunko got Dorian Broggy and all these giants as possessed like members of an army. I saw that and I was blown away, because what do you mean we're getting stuff like that now? We're like, this shows me that we are officially in the end game. If it wasn't clear before, we're in the end game of One Piece. This is it. Like Elbaf is probably going to be like the last like setup arc, and as soon as we leave Elbaf, it's full steam ahead. And I cannot wait to see what's about to happen. And then it's been revealed that potentially Luffy and Emu Gunko are going to come face to face, right? And this is big because Emu and Luffy is something that has been foreshadowed for years, man. Ever since we got that shot in the anime and manga where Emu has these pictures of Luffy and Vivi, ever since then, we know that there is a connection between these two characters, but we don't know what it is. Now we are getting so close to seeing what Emu's reaction could be to seeing Luffy for the first time in the story, because we know they have his photo, but what is the connection between these two characters, right? What is it that Oda has been cooking for these two specifically for the longest time? That's what I'm most looking forward to. Gear 5 Luffy versus Emu. What is going to happen when that goes down in the next coming chapters? That is going to shake One Piece to its core, I think. And that's going to be like a very big moment. And I personally cannot wait to see what happens. So to wrap it all up, yes, while I said that Elbaf was deteriorating in quality and I wasn't a fan of it, I have changed my mind. This arc now is it's becoming very good, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing where it goes now. Because while I wasn't a fan of Elbaf in the beginning, I will stand strong on that. A lot of like the mid to earlier portions of Elbaf I didn't like. Now that we're in the thick of it, I'm starting to like it a lot more, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro now all come back to like face off with Emu, because they've been in the underworld with Loki for a very long time. So I'm wondering how they get reintroduced back into the story and where this all goes. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens next. So I think that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. How do you guys feel about everything that's going on in One Piece right now? Did you feel similar to me, where you weren't really a fan of Elbaf for the longest time, but you caught back up to it and now it's actually better in your eyes? Or do you think I was crazy and Elbaf has always been peak? Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Bye.